scoliosis surgery has really evolved quite a bit in the last half century, and it's remarkable. In the 1950s, if you had scoliosis, you went to the hospital as an adolescent, and you had an operation, and they put you in a body cast, and they left you in bed. And you stayed in bed for 6 months, at which point they made a window into the cast. They cut a hole in the cast. They reopened the spinal wound. They put new bone graft in. They put the cast back on and left you in bed. So if you had scoliosis as an adolescent in 1950, you spent a year in the hospital. And then in the 1960s, Paul Harrington invented what most people recognize as Harrington rods, which was a system to fix the spine internally. So now we had metal rods and hooks that we could attach to the spine that would control the scoliosis. And this was, just a dramatic change in the way we treated adolescents. So now you went from a year in the hospital in a body cast to having a surgery, being discharged from the hospital within a couple of weeks in a brace. And we wore the brace for maybe 3 to 6 months. And it was ambulatory. You didn't have to stay in bed. And that was really improved things even more. So now scoliosis became really something that you could do for more people because it was just more practical. And it was very safe, proved to be very safe. And so we really thought, that was really a big thing. And that really, and that stuff that Harrington developed in the early 1960s really held up well into the 1980s. I mean, it's amazing to think that it was 20 years that this surgeon from Texas developed a system that held up for that length of time. And it's the same time during orthopedics where we were developing much of the other instrumentation that we use now, total hip replacement, total knee replacement, internal fixation of fractures. This all was occurring during the late 60s and 70s. So he was right in that era where orthopedics really changed from a discipline where we treated people who were paralyzed with strokes or polio and had deformities of their feet to something where you could treat people who had problems that affected their daily life, that they could really improve their quality of life in an amazing way.